Welcome to Bored to Death. My name is Erica.
And I'm Giancarlo.
And this is our preview of Vikings Gone Wild.
Yes! Ooh! Ooh!
In Vikings Gone Wild, players take the role of heads of clans fighting each other to prove the gods who is best. Let's jump into setup. The players each get a player board and pawn. The pawn is placed at the start of the score track. Each player gets 3 Town Hall cards of level 1, 2, and 3, and places them on his board. Shuffle all the 1-point missions together and deal 2 to each player, face up on their player board. Then shuffle all the 2 and 3-point missions and place all the 1-point mission cards on top of them to form a mission deck. Each player gets a starting deck containing 6 beer cards, 2 gold cards, and 2 warrior cards. Shuffle those cards and place them here on the player's board. Now to set up the board, place all the different types of units, towers, and buildings on their assigned spots on the board face up. Shuffle the Odin's Path cards and reveal 5 face up like so, and place the deck onto the side. Shuffle the Divine Favors and reveal 2 from the deck. Shuffle the 10 bonus cards and place 4 random face up cards here. Finally, make pools of gold tokens, beer tokens, and resource tokens in easy reach of all players. You're not ready to fight for the favor of the gods.
Each round has 5 phases. The first phase is to draw cards. During this phase, each player will draw 5 cards from their deck, plus any other bonus cards they might have from taverns they built. The next phase is production. Here, each player will get 1 gold cube and 1 beer cube on each of their gold mines and breweries. The next phase is the player action phase. Starting with the first player, each player will be able to perform actions on their turns. Let's take a look at buying cards. The units and towers are attack and defense cards. The price listed here in gold, beer, or both. Using your cards in hand and resources from your buildings, you can spend the resources required and buy that card. The card bought and those used to buy it all go into your discard pile. If you buy a card from Odin's Path, move the cards to the right and reveal a new card right away. These cards have different special abilities. If you buy a building, instead of putting it in your discard pile, it will go in front of you and stay there for the rest of the game. These will give you resources, abilities, or extra cards during the draw phase. You can also upgrade your Town Hall for 5 gold. If you do, reveal the next level. This also increases your village size, allowing you to have more buildings in your playing area. With a level 3 Town Hall, you have no limit size.
Another action you could do during your turn is attack other players' buildings. You can only attack one player on your turn, and you can only target a player who has not been attacked this round. To attack, simply make units with your unit cards and say which building you're attacking. The total attack of your unit must be equal or higher than the defense of the building. The defending player can play towers to increase the defense of his building. If you win an attack, you'll gain victory points depending on how many buildings you damage. Place damage tokens on the building you've successfully attacked. Some buildings will also give you extra rewards like beer and Divine Favor cards. If you successfully defend, you gain victory points equal to the number of cards in the attacking unit. After you get attacked, place a damage cube on your Town Hall to show other players that you can no longer get attacked this round. You can also attack the permanent undead for gold or beer rewards during your turn, or the undead that shows up on Odin's Path.
Now that we looked at what players do during the player phase, let's take a look at the next phase, storage. If you have gold, beer, or resources you want to save, you need to have containers for them. If you do not have containers, they are lost and discarded. During this phase, if a player has 4 of the same in a container, they get 1 victory point. Finally, the last phase is the end of round phase. All players discard their hand and cards played into their discard pile. All players remove their construction token and damage tokens from their buildings. The rightmost card on Odin's Path is discarded face down and a new one is shown. The first player marker moves to the next player and a new round begins. Now let me talk a little about the other cards in the game. The mission cards are short-term goals that when completed will reward you and then will be moved to the completed mission area on your board. When you complete a mission, draw a new one from the mission deck. The Divine Favor cards are powerful cards which you gain by reaching a certain spot on the victory point track. You'll reveal the top card of the deck and choose one of the 3 cards. There is also a merchant where you can trade 2 resources for another one or even pay 4 gold to reshuffle your discard into your deck. The last card to mention are the endgame bonus cards that are long-term goals, which will reward you with more points at the end of the game. How does the game end? Well, in 2-player game, it ends when a player reaches at least 40 points. For a 3 to 4 player game, it's 30 victory points.
When the endgame arrives, it's time to check for extra victory points. You'll get extra points for the endgame bonus cards. If more than one player completed the goals, they share the points. If only one player has met a goal, they get an extra 6 points for that card. The player with the most points wins. Vikings Gone Wild feels like a tabletop version of Clash of Clans. If you like the deck building, engine making, resource management, and player interaction, you have to check out this game, and remember, if you like it, back it.